Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Annie and today I will show you guys how I made my super detailed blazer from this piece of fabric. I use only 1 meter of fabric. As you can see, this fabric has a nice pattern which will help me during the sewing session, and also have unfortunately a little stain on it, but never mind. First of all, I will use Mood Fabrics free sewing patterns. As you can see, the trillium assemble. I use the back, the front, this back yoke, the collar part, and I also use this any jacket pattern. I use the sleeve, and as you can see, I attach this to a piece and the other part of the sleeve that I didn't find yet. And I also made my own cuff for this sleeve. So as you can see, I cut out the back pieces, and as you can see, for the joke I use an interface and I burned it with the iron a little bit, but never mind. As you can see, this is like a big stain on it. I match the pattern first in the center, and then I will make this ruffle or gathering, I don't know how it's called. As you can see, I pin both little piece into the center and pin the upper back piece to the lower one and stitch them and also hem them together. So now let's move on. I iron it down the edge, the sewing, as you can see, like this, and I will stitch it down with top stitching. I use for this so-called top stitching because this is just a decorative stitch in the back. So this is how I made it. And now let's move to the front. I use a little latex in the side of this front panel, and as you can see, I folded back once a little piece and then also another time, and I stitch it down along both edges of this fold. Now moving on to the pockets. These are just some kind of decorative pockets flap, and as you can see, I stitch them together from the inside and from the outside, making some detailed top stitches. I gathered this edge, and I will just pin it down to the front panel, somewhere like that. I stitch it down along this line, and then I will iron it down to stay in place like this, and maybe I will stitch it down again. This is how it looks like. I ended up stitching them from the top also, and now we can move on. The next part is the sleeve. This is what we are going for. I'm just doing some decorative stitching in the top, and this is the place where I will attach the cuff. So let's see how I made all of this. This is the two sleeve pattern. As you can see, I just fold it like that, make sure the edges are matching, and I will stitch it down along this line until the cuff point. And this is it. As you can see, I gathered it, and in the bottom I leave it open, and I also did some decorative stitching in the top. So in the bottom I leave this open, and I fold it back twice this edge, and I stitch it down, as you can see, along this line. So now we are finished, almost finished. I mean, I couldn't match the pattern, as you can see, in both pieces. And now let's flip it over this piece and make sure the edges are matching and stitch them together. this is the piece that I use for the cuff, as long, as wide as the sleeve. So I use a little Vetex inside, and I just, as you can see, stitch down these two edges and turn the whole things inside out. I also tuck it inside these edges and iron them, because it will help me a lot in the next step. So what we are doing is these ruffles in the smaller part of the sleeve, and as you can see, I just made 3 ruffles, fold lines, I think. So what I will do, I just tuck inside this so-called pocket, these edges like this, and I will stitch it down along that line. But first I should pin them together like this. It takes a while to make sure that everything is matching, and then I just use a tap stitch and go over. So as you can see, this is how I attach the front panel and the back panel and stitch them together. And now we are almost finished. Anyway, this is the color. I also use for the color just in one piece of Vetex fabric to make sure it stay like so firm, and then I put these two together and stitch together along this line. I pin the collar to the place, and as you can see, this is how I made. This is the neckline, and just I put it into and pin them together, trying to match the edges. And I also did this so-called tap stitch in the collar too. After I stitch the collar in place, I also go over with tap stitches, trying to match the pattern, but again unsuccessfully. So now let's move to the trickiest part, is the sleeve. I just tag the sleeve inside the sleeve hole and also trying to match this main stitching. I go around with the pins, and of course I will stitch them together along this pin line and then gather everything. And almost finished. I just roll it back twice the waistline, and I go over it with tap stitches like I did in the buttonhole section. And now my favorite part is decorating the blazer. I ordered a lot of gadgets from Shein, and they are perfect for this project. I think I use some pearls, and as you can see, I also use pearls and gemstones for the button. And this is, I'm not sure how it's called, it's a plastic, some kind of ribbon, but it's perfect for the pockets. I also want to use this one, but I ended up doing something else in the sleeve and the cuff. And this is also a good choice, but not for this project, I think. But it's so beautiful. Maybe my later project I will use it. So let's go and do something. This is what is my expectation for the pocket. I want to stitch everything with hand stitching to the blazer, but I sometimes ended up using rhinestone glue. These rhinestone pearls are perfect for the shoulders part. I use this kind of glue for it, and then as you can see, I put it in my dress form and I start to beading and gluing these things to it, and as you can see, it turned it out so good. It's even better when I put it on. So let's see it.